Hey guys, it's Tarkin coming at you with another game of Minecraft. It's really just wheat. You know what's going on. You know what you're in for. You know what you signed up for. It's, majesty, wonder, an above average amount of wheat blocks. All of those things, and more. Today we're going to be working on the river over here. Again, of course, it's still like, we might... The thing is that we want the river to be, equal height here, so I think we'll just leave the sides as they are, and, that'll be a pleasant little artifact, because this was already, a little lake, but here where the water flow starts, you see that is where we are creating our river. Not that high. Probably not that high either. And any place that you have like that, if you just knock down a couple of the blocks, then you'll get more water flow there, which, with a little bit of kelpening, will have everything just as you wish it to be. Full of water, relatively full of water. More water than before. And that is how you make a river after all. Gradually and then suddenly. Alright, I don't have a shovel, so we're just going to use this pickaxe to break dirt. That's what's hot on the streets. Tragically, we're going to have to go through some more wheat. Yeah, because we'll link up with that one right there, so we'll just want to go, like, right here. We should make a shovel. Hey, Renee, how are you? Good to see you. Now, I don't know where my shovel is. I doubt it's here. We'll just make one. Probably two of them. Iron shovels are not nearly as fast as, like, a really good diamond shovel, but I don't know where I put mine. Caught some crabs today at the beach. Oh, that's awesome. Like bigger than a head? That's a big old blue crab. That's cool. I have not ever caught animals like that, but I did used to catch like crayfish in the ditch all the time. But I I grew up by the bayou, right? So you couldn't eat them. you couldn't eat the animals that lived in the water around there. But it was still fun to catch them anyway. They would make these holes that looked like little mounds with with a hole in the center, and I would imagine that they had big networks where all the crayfish got together and, played cards or, mahjong, whatever it is they do. Mahjong? I don't know how to say it. You named the crab Jamal and you're going to release it tomorrow, but that's nice, You give it a little bit of experience, and then you send it on its way. Knowing more than Jamal ever thought he would know about existence. Alright, like we can force this up pretty good here, right? Yeah, because now we will just... No, not like that. Yes, like this. Bed is obstructed. Jamal was mad. Well, you know, put yourself in his 8 shoes. That's a saying, right? Put yourself in their 8 shoes. That's the thing people say. And if it isn't, it should start being that. Whenever somebody, like, approaches you with a question again, you'd be like, imagine you were a crab person. Imagine you had 8 pairs of shoes. How would you feel? And then, while they're confused, you can just walk away. You know, you can get out of any conversation just by telling people to imagine they're a crab. Now, this may not work perfectly. I haven't tried it. But it just sounds like it would work fine. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. At work. If somebody asks me a question, I'll be like, I don't know, imagine you're a crab about it. And if they ask me to elaborate, I will decline to elaborate. So you might stay for a bit though. Swim a lot and tired. Yeah, you know, it's funny how laying around in the sun and swimming takes a whole lot out of you. I keep on meaning to, like, find a place around where I live to go swimming. Not like outside, like a pool or whatever, and like I want to wake up at like 5 in the morning and go swim like a proper old person. There definitely is one, I just don't know where it is. As far as I know, this is literally the best way to build a river. It isn't. But it's the way I know. And I think it's very aesthetic. And it sounds good, that's important too. You know, that's all a part of the pleasant aesthetics. This song will always remind me that it's time to stop playing Minecraft. No, not right now. I'm gonna play a little while longer. But because for the longest time in World 334, this was the only song that we had. This was the song we listened to at the end. That was a good world. Alas, you know. This is a good world too. And of course, we are going to meet in the middle rather than try to connect one side to the other. We're just going to start working on this one. That seems practical enough. We'll get some there and you know, get on to it. Destroy a little bit of this wheat like a monster. So while you were at the beach, somebody caught a baby hammerhead shark? Oh no! Well, I hope the shark is okay. I think it's sad that people are so scared of sharks when they are mostly minding their own business. I mean, of course, there are certain contexts when I would be pretty distressed about a shark. I don't want to sound real brave or anything, but I think they're cool animals. Oh no! Almost got sanded, but we ran away. Bravely ran away. Ah, and the rain falls. You know, that's what it's all about. The sounds of rain and running water in Minecraft, plus this weird sort of cymbals in the background sound. I normally switch this song off, I think, when it gets to this part. But y'all know I don't recognize all of the Minecraft songs. What is this one called? This is Warmth. Okay, so it makes the weird sounds for a while, and then... Oh, it does for a while. It reminds me of being scared in Subnautica when it makes sounds at me. I'm like the worst Subnautica player of all time. It's a fun game. I find it frustrating, but only because I'm trying to do things. You know, if I just embraced the game on its own terms without trying to do anything, I would have a better time. That's why I'm building a castle on an island, even though I know I'm not supposed to. You say you get scared when you hear the cave sounds too? They do sound very ominous, you know. They're like, oh no, there's a boom, an eerie boom in the deep. I need to be careful, you know. I gotta start acting right, you know. There's like in Lord of the Rings when he knocks the bucket down into the well. He's like, oh, that's bad. And then the drums. He's like, oh, those. That's even worse sounding. Found a cave. You heard the cave sound in a forest in the game, and then you started looking for a cave but didn't find it. Oh no! That must have been scary. Like, I'm so glad I found the little subtitles for the right-hand side where it's, you know, like witch cackles or boom, you know, eerie sounds. Because otherwise, you know, I always had to worry. Because the sound that, like, the silly little villager zombies make is in my ears like the same sound as the witches. So now that I have the subtitles, though, I don't have to worry. Of course, there's no such thing as enemies here, not in this world. Only kelp, only wheat, in that order. It's like sometimes I'm like, what's up? And then I realize that because when I'm in first person, I often, you know, you'll get like that in water and then you don't go nearly, you know, just quickly. I play so bad in first person, you know, you just need to do it for like some forms of combat and for, you know, for mining specific things and placing specific stuff. But man, oh man, is movement just like about impossible for me. And I've been told that most people play in first person like all the time, but oh. Goodbye and good night, Grenade. Thanks for stopping in. Yes, it is midnight for me as well, but I'll be playing for a little bit longer. Hello, Dr. ATO. How are you? Playing alone? Yep. Whoa. That was weird. Have you ever seen my wheat field? I won't show you the whole thing, it would take too long. But have you ever seen it? Alright, we need to put in a buffer right there, that way we'll be able to grow it. This is what it looks like from over here. Anyway, we're just working on this little river thing here. There's you know, there's more. Not like a ton. There's a lot more. We're not gonna go over all of it right now. But anyway, I just wanted to show you. We're getting the kelp. So when you have flowing water blocks, kelp, when it grows into a flowing water block, will turn it into a source block. So we're making this river here. So when the kelp grows up, then all you have to do, it'll level out, and it sort of causes a cascading chain reaction kind of thing. So like over here, and you can you know, you can sort of buttress the water across with like dirt and stuff to flow, and all this kelp will grow up, and as it does, all of this water that's all just flowing in from the top will all become source blocks, and it'll push all the way across the top. And we're just doing a little bit more of that here. But yeah. You say, am I thinking of breaking the record for most wheat or something? No, I don't actually know what the record is. There's no way I would be close, right? I mean, I've only been playing Minecraft like 13 months or so total, and so what are the stats? It'll be like 300k or so, right? Yeah, we've planted 301,000 or used 301,000 total wheat seeds. So, and then, you know, so we're planting them and having to pick them back up again and stuff. So, I mean, there's no way it's the most anyone's ever done. But, No, it goes on for a good long ways in another direction. What are the rivers for, Luke? Aesthetics. And so that theoretically, you know, you could move the harvest up and down the river. But yeah, so, you know, when we go up in the air and you have like the river that sort of cuts through it and then the wheat on the other side or not, it's just going to be nice. And that's why. And it's also to distract me from the fact that I'm supposed to build the Temple of Wheat and I don't know how I'm going to do it right. Also, hi Luke, how are you? You missed it this morning. I totally botched this campaign, dude. I tried to play Elspeth. I'm really bad. I'll probably legitimately lose it the whole way soon, and then maybe start it again or play someone else. Oh man, it's rough. It's rough. I made a few bad choices, and then I made a couple terrible choices, and then, you know, before long, it's all over. You say it looks like sand from far? Ah, you know, there were a couple of people in the past where they thought, like, I was planting wheat, and they're like, oh, you know, that's cool. And then, like, when I got down lower, they're like, oh, that's all wheat. I was like, yeah. Did you think I was excited about, like, some wheat? No, I got, like, a lot of wheat. I used to say that I thought I had an average amount, which is sort of like, my attempt of a funny joke. I was always aware it was a lot. So you just visit my channel and have nice videos. Thank you. Glad you enjoy. Yeah, you know, I don't really edit or anything, but I stream, you know, basically every day. Play various stuff. Plant lots of wheat. I play a lot of Minecraft hardcore, and then sort of juggle some other games. Just sort of depends. Oh, Luke, you tried your scheme on Skag? What did that old ogre do? I'm like, wait, why am I... It's like, why am I getting rid of that? That would be a perfect place to drop some water down. So here I will demonstrate the watering. So you get like 4 to the side before you have to have it any taller or shorter. Sorry, that's a very imprecise and terrible way to describe what I'm talking about. You get 5 blocks distance from a water flow until it won't flow any further in that direction, right? So then you can go like so, just a little ways down, you put one there, and then you can get 1 water block and get all of this water to connect. This is advantageous for many reasons. Then once you do that, you can just get rid of this and the water stays there, and that is what the kelp is for. I learned this in my hardcore world where I've lived for almost 700 days. But a little while ago, a month or 2 or 3, I started working on some rivers there, and I developed a bunch of different techniques. There's probably better ways to build a river, but these are the ways that I know, and I like the sound of running water anyway. It feels so weird to be in this world and not playing wheat. I legit keep thinking that I'm playing hardcore, because I'm so not used to doing anything except planting wheat. You traded him so far and he broke all of them? Oh, that's awesome. And then... and then Carl got so into it that you had to adapt immediately. That's funny, you know. You can have too good of a plan. Zinch was truly with you that day. Yeah, I haven't, like, I don't think I've taken over, like, the world as dwarves since, like, Warhammer 1. Back when Archaon was the endgame crisis. Man. Did you play a Warhammer 1? That was, it's like you couldn't even take so many settlements. It was hard, but you know you could eventually just get rid of everyone. Back when Warhammer 1 was new, you must just watch YouTube. Yeah, Warhammer 2 must have already been out whenever I got Warhammer 1, because I got it from a Humble Bundle thing. And I had never even heard of it, right? Which is funny because I already played Warhammer 40k. But you know how it is. Like, there's so much... I should make a World Showcase video, you think? Perhaps. It's been almost a year since we made our first Wheat video. Could do it, yeah. I've never edited, like, a single video, Dr. Ado. So, like, I, abstractly, because especially like in my hardcore world, I would love to do like a retrospective on one of my old hardcore worlds that we died in that like meant a lot to me or whatever. But I'm like very lazy. By which I mean I work, so like I don't want to do anything but play video games with my time. But no, I don't really keep current on other like YouTube channels that do the sort of stuff that I do. I mainly watch competitive real-time strategy commentary. But yeah, so I played 1 and then I put like a couple hundred hours in, like maybe 270, something like that. Don't let me lie to you. Less than 300, I think less than 300. And then, because I was like, well, I already have it, I want to play it. And then I started watching Warhammer 2. Yeah, it must have already been out for a while, probably. I started watching Turin's videos, and then I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I want to get this game. I want to, play. And I was thinking I would try to play, like, multiplayer and stuff, but this was... if memory serves right, when my hands got like really, really bad before my surgeries and stuff, so that never ended up happening. Yeah, you let Carl take care of the endgame, I do remember. And he got it all to tier 5, so you'd probably have to fight over it. Yeah, they put a lot of value into that. It's always a shame when your alliances get in the way of your end-game goals, right? Yeah, well, maybe you won, right? Ah. I had that feeling. I actually, last night, after I, like, got done with streaming, I didn't feel like going to bed, and I loaded up my TimerCon campaign, and I just, like, fought a few more battles, just cackling and, like, running into everybody and being like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then today, I spin up an Elspeth campaign and just get absolutely murked. I'm so bad. I want to be good. I'm not, I don't have it in me. I have the heart and soul of a corn player, right? Oh yeah, we're finally getting the motions down, you know, because if you don't waste the time figuring out that you're at the end of the line, or falling off because you forget to hold control, then you can run into these things. Good, good. You think I should Google some actual package shot formations? Like real life ones, or ones that people got for Warhammer? There's a place, a channel called Total Tactics, where they do historical formations and make a Total Warhammer analog one. Okay, I gotta check that out. That sounds amazing! So we really don't have enough kelp here. We're gonna need a lot of kelp. It's like, I've played Empire before, but when I think about it, I always play, you know, weird stuff, right? Like, I play Gelt with a whole bunch of skirmishers and then, like, war wagons, and then I just blow everything up with his magic. Or, you know, I play Marcus Wolfhart with a bunch of skirmishers and you know, stuff. Like, I never... I blew up so many of my dudes with the Hellstorm rocket battery. You would not believe how bad I am. You just wouldn't believe it. So I did like bad in the battles, and then I was like, I don't think I recruited some pistoliers first, and that paid off not at all. I had like competitive brain on, and again, I don't play it, but I do watch it, and I'm like, I'll get pistoliers that'll be good to skirmish against like the dogs and the bats. They aren't. They're only good in like, if you're good and you're playing competitive, that they don't do good work there. So that was useless. And then I like waited 3 turns recruiting things, even though I knew it was bad, and I said it was bad the whole time. So then I went and after waiting 3 turns to eliminate the first vampire rebels, I didn't realize Karakern was going to get taken out immediately by Durthu, and I saw this ruin, and I was like, ooh, I'll take this ruin, and then I'll sell it to him. Called Malleus Gaming. Okay, cool. Not Total Tactics. Total Tactics is a series. Got it. Malleus Gaming. Hammer! That makes sense, you know. But, yeah, and then... So I went into there and got the settlement. The orcs declared on me, attacked me, and I lost my whole army. And then I didn't bribe the vampires. I haven't lost to them yet. So, yeah, I lost the whole first army, and the engineer died. And, and right now, I think we're under siege again. Anyway, the orcs keep sacking the other two cities, and I'm just like holed up at Nuln, trying to get like an army of spearmen and archers. Like, normally I would just reset, but it's kind of funny to see how badly I can do. And again, I'm not like intentionally messing up. I knew it wasn't smart to recruit. I didn't think I could win the battle. Tercio, it rings a bell. I don't have like a proper military history education, but I do have like an enthusiastic amateur one. But the pike and shot era is not one that I found particularly interesting, you know, like I'm a very boring guy, you know. Greece, Rome, Napoleon, American Civil War, Genghis Khan, you know, that kind of stuff. Just very, very standard. Because I think all people of an age that grew up playing Age of Empires 2, you know, you had to pick a campaign, right? And I was obsessed with Braveheart growing up. But, you know, there's only so much to chew on there. And once you learn about the actual battles, they're not nearly as cool, right? And then you got, you know, Jeanne d'Arc, and, I mean, sure, whatever. And then you got Saladin, awesome, cool, very interesting stuff. And then, you know, you got Frederick Barbarossa, and then my man Temujin, Genghis Khan, who has by far the most interesting biography of any of them. So that was like the one that I got, you know, interested out of those. And I don't think everybody has to pick one of the main Age of Empires 2 factions to be interested in, but I don't think it hurts. But yeah, I've always thought horse archery is just the coolest thing. Square frontline units with the ranged units in the corners, and you pull them into the square, and then, yeah, and I'm not used to fighting vampires with the regular army. Like, I'm not. I am used to fighting vampires when I can cast Burning Head, and I just did, you know, I went for Pistoliers first. I was like, oh, Elspeth's a wizard, we'll be able, you know, she's got death magic, so we'll have Spirit Leech first, whatever, that'll be okay for a bit, and then, you know, we'll get Purple Sun and Buna, and that'll be alright. But I probably just should have got a Bright Wizard, because if I had Burning Head, then I could just absolutely roast those early vampire armies and not be taking so much problems. And then, of course, if you had Burning Head, then all those blob fights in sieges and stuff go better. But I made a number of, like, very, very poor choices, which, it's like, I'm not good, but I am experienced. And I'm pretty sure I said out loud frequently through the run, I know I shouldn't do this, but, like, there's knowing and then there's knowing, right? You know, I know, I was even like, now you gotta be careful where you're positioning the artillery, and then I immediately, like, shoot it into the back of the handgunners, you know, like a genius. Because I know that I have to be careful, but I don't know how to be careful. Probably the Tercios that it made it too rigid. Then they come back to the front and they double the gunners. Yeah, you know, I do remember how the pike and shot gradually became much and much and much less pike. But I have some friends who do, you know, the Renaissance martial arts stuff. And they definitely know all about these formations and stuff. This is their era. That's 4 gunners to 1 pike in the middle. Okay. I guess you used like a halberd? Because I'm hearing this with Empire and I'm like, you know, this sounds like it would be a lot better with dwarves and slayers than... yeah, because the thing with vampires is, as you know, they don't run, so... Oh man, I was having a terrible time. And savage orcs are so rough. Yeah, I'm just I just know Elspeth's a monster once you get her dragon. I just don't have her dragon. And I'm so used to, you know, playing with what I call the typical Warhammer crutch, which is having a character that's too strong for its own good, you know, make up for you being bad. Coast? Oh yeah, I imagine so. And then you could have like deck gunners and the back line doing it. Man, deck gunners are so good. So dwarves aren't amazing at it because they're slow. And I guess there wouldn't be a point in doing it with like rangers. Although with like, you know, stock, it would be even better because you would have like, you know, maneuverable guys, you know. But of course the point of rangers is they don't do as much damage as, you know, the AP powder troops do. I never ever use gunpowder, right, man? Like never. They gotta put it like on a flying unit. I never have the discipline to get the line of sight. I'm so bad at noticing things going on during battle. Yeah, and of course Bugmans have that regen, so they're like, you know, that's really solid for that sort of style. Because even if one side, you know, gets caught out a bit or whatever, you know, that sort of initial clash damage gets healed up in a minute or so, and then you could, you know, move them away a little bit, you know, make it a triangle rather than a plus sign, if need be, sort of cycle them away. Or, you know, you have a ranger in the front, and they're the ones who are meant to take the charge if the melee doesn't get there in time. That's how I would have to do it. Oh, yeah. See, you're wiser and more tactical than I am. More practiced in the ways of the beard. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah. I never flank properly, right? It's always like, oh, I moved the dogs or the furies over there, and then I forget until like the battle's over, and then I'm like, oh right, I could move them. Yeah, so it won't be long till we connect there, and we see that this kelp is growing well enough. We need to... Yeah, we need to just get... I hate everything. I think I should lean more into frontline units than backline with how I play. Yeah, that's what I think too. I just need to... Look, I'm gonna lose the campaign, I'm pretty sure. Not least for like bad, like macro level campaign play in addition to bad play inside of it, but... Yeah, if I just get like a Bright Wizard and like Swordsman or Flagellants, cause like that's... I'm like, isn't that what I do? Yeah, I just get a bunch of Flagellants and then the artillery, you know, it's fine. Because Flagellants are so good against, like, zombies, because they won't run, and just a little of them will keep your enemy bogged down. But yeah, and then, like, and because, you know, Elspeth, I mean, she gets her dragon eventually, and I haven't played with it in campaign, but I have seen it in multiplayer, and it's a terror. It's very strong. But... You know, I don't know if we're going to be able to live to get to that level 16 or whatever. But, because again, like, I lost the whole army, so I don't even have any artillery, but I was playing very, very poorly with it. I wasn't getting any value at all. I was destroying my own troops far more often than I was hurting theirs. It was, I honestly, several times was questioning whether or not I had ever played Empire before, which I have. Yeah, the thing was, I didn't think they were behind a hill, but then they, like, tried to shoot downward over, like, they had a shot, and then they're like, you know what I'll do? I will shoot into the back of the guys right in front of me. Because, again, I probably told them to by accident. I'm very bad. But I've got a plan if we lose. So, first, we'll get a Bright Wizard, and then we'll take the... technology that gives us the blessed mortars and the tank, and then with the tank we can probably just cheese our way just doing tank things, because the Emperor's Wrath is really good. You got like that reusable explosion that does a lot of good stuff. Hey Ashes, how are you? I'm doing alright. We're just working on a river. Yeah, you know, look, I was trying to do that with the hills. I just, every single time, I think I was, like, evaluating the campaign map wrong, or the battle map wrong. Because, like, I have, like, 1,000 hours into it. I've played a lot of Empire. Not in 3, but I've played a lot of Empire, and, like, it... It was pretty bad, dude. It was just pretty bad. I started by talking about how good the opening army was, and then I proceeded to do nothing good with it the whole time. I'm like, a Hellstorm and a Great Cannon, this is stacked. I can take on the whole world with this. This is awesome. And then I'm just like, just playing like trash. No, Ashes, you don't need to apologize for interrupting the rant. The Warhammer rant is eternal. Till I learn to play, I will always be salty about it. Not really. Could just turn the difficulty down. No, I'd still be bad. If I fail a couple more times on the campaign, I might. Or I might just play something else. So a lot of people, you know, you can spend a lot of time in life like being disappointed with how bad you are at something, but if you just give up, then you never have to feel bad about it again. Yeah, I think I'm definitely doing way too much of like a straight line type of thing. Yeah. So that river's going... Alright, oh. Were we supposed to connect that one? I mean, we can just do that one too. I don't think the idea was to connect to that, because this castle was already... I don't know. That poor pig. Hey, he got up. Good for him. Should zoom in and look at the powder unit's point of view. You know, after one of the artillery mishaps, I did that on the next map. I was like, alright, I'm gonna look and make sure we don't do that again. And then I did a similar thing. It might have been the exact same thing. I'm almost incapable of learning lessons. I try not to worry about it too much. It's usually a thing that upsets other people more than me. Hey, Tasha. You say, as long as I'm enjoying myself, who's the judge? Yeah. You know, I think I must have been playing a Carl Franz campaign on 3 when I got my teeth just kicked in, and I was like, I wonder what Archeon the Everchosen is like. And then I was like, oh, this feels good. I feel like a big hero. Anyway, a big hero. Those exact words. It's like, I don't want to play this game on hard anymore. I want to play the easy kind where I'm awesome. And everybody else just has to deal with it. You know, and that's sort of what I thought Elspeth was going to be. It would be if I were a better player. It's like, it's just like me to be handed a campaign with universally lauded easy mode mechanics and then say, this is too hard. You say they get for straight thinker Sponge Legend? Yeah, I know, right? Look, I'm impressed by that level of play, but I saw this one time. I don't really watch his videos, but I've seen them sometimes. Like my brother shows them to me and whatnot. But it was some Slanesh army with, like, you know, like 19 greater demons or whatever. And it was just, like, the most hysterically cheesy stuff that I'd ever seen. And I was just like, man, I'm playing this game wrong. Like, there's some cheese, though, where it's like, you feel like you have to. Like sieging a place properly, right? Where you're just like, you don't want to just lose. You're gonna switch it up, Zatan the Black or to Hinwan? To Hinwan. I mean, Zatan the Black's I don't want to get in the book. They're not practically like playing dwarves, but they have all the same dynamics of playing dwarves, just, you know, with different spice, you know. But I guess what I think of is, you know, like the armored infantry front line, the armor piercing back line, the artillery, you know, like way different dynamics. I mean, of course, dwarves have access to all sorts of more interesting things, but I think lizardmen could be a cool little cleanser there. say they aren't really liking anything roster. Oh yeah, no, they're really quite amazing. You know, they've got the big monster, Bull Centaur renders. Is that the name of them? Anyway, like very very strong. You know, like the hobgoblins are good. You know, like their skirmish cavalry are solid. The magic's good. The flying monsters are fine, you know, and you can get good results out of them. The artillery's cool, and then like having the trains with the artillery is very good. Gonna need to plant some more wheat soon. Not right now. Right now I have to go to bed. Blah. Yeah, there's some factions that just feel very complete. And Chaos Dwarfs have been, you know, the whole time. Tomb Kings are a good example of a faction like that. Although, you know, like there's some stuff that they don't have, but they're not really supposed to have it. You know, they've got like alternatives. You know, like they don't have heavy shock cavalry, but they've got sepulchral stalkers and stuff. You know, they've got the monstrous stuff to back it up. Yeah, the Chorfroster is deep. Ah, yes. Yeah, I would want to play, like, just a bunch of, like, garbage armies that ran around to reinforce my main army, you know? Just, like, lots and lots of hobgoblin stuff and stuff like that, and then, like, a train and an artillery piece with that army sort of stuff, like, one, like, Taurus in the air type of thing, and then have, like, the main army, and that's the one with, you know, the heavy metal and the fire glaives, the infernal guard, and all that. But lizards, you know, because I don't know how many correct ways there are to play lizards, but there's a lot of ways to play them. They all involve big dinosaurs, which I think is fun. And of course, Chorf's got good magic, but if you get, you know, Lord Croak, then he's a big frog, and they named him Lord Croak, and nobody laughs at him whenever he drops the deliverance of Itza upon them. Nobody laughs at all. It's funny. I used to think this was so much wheat. Just this little field here. I was so excited to share it with everybody. I was like, I need to rehearse my lines. Done. Breaks. And look at me now. You know, the mountain of wheat wasn't even the mountain of wheat back then. And I was still so excited. All that in the distance, that wasn't even wheat then. Things sure have changed. But that's all I've got for you today. The cats in the window say goodnight. Marcus Aurelius above the suspicious fireplace says goodnight. And so too do I. But anyway. Guess that's it. So many golems. Yes, Natasha, indeed. Still more wheat to come. You know, we've only planted like 301,000 wheat seeds. These are rookie numbers. We're gonna have to get those numbers way, way up. Of course, tomorrow I gotta work again, but for now, the sun sets, and so too do I. Anyway, good night, Natasha. Thanks for stopping in. Good night, Luke. Thanks for talking Warhammer. It was a good time. I appreciate the advice. I'll have to look up those Tercio boxes. I'm definitely going to look up that Malleus stuff. I'll probably check that out in the morning when I'm having my coffee. That sounds interesting. I love military history applied to video games. That's my favorite. They're like, how realistic are the stats in Age of Empires 2? I'm like, tell me now. Anyway, good night, everyone. And perhaps I'll see you in another stream or video. And that's all I've got for you today. Good night.